Good morning. It's Saturday, August 2nd, and what a difference a day makes. We had a big storm roll in here yesterday evening and got a lot of good rain, and it dropped the temperature finally. It's actually a little cool out here this morning, which is such a pleasant situation. We are going to definitely have some time for some videos. I got some ideas that we're going to do this day and tomorrow, including what I think we're going to do today is a follow-up to the Willow, Weeping Willow Bonsai dewiring video, utilizing a suggestion that Tom of Grow and Clip Bonsai for Seniors made that I found interesting. I think we're going to have a part 2 of the video where we're going to see, like, okay, well, let's try a non-wiring way to make the bonsais weep that shows some promise. I watched his video where he suggested it in one of the comments of that video, and then he made a video showing me how it's done. And I watched that video last night, went out in the dark to my bonsai bench and bent back a couple branches. And sorry, Sophie's taking a rest here. Take your time, Sophie. All right. Went out to the dark to my bench and gave it a try. Bent down a few branches, and I'm like, oh, this looks like it might work. So we're gonna check out, see what those branches look like this morning, and we might do that to the whole tree. So here is the weeping willow on the bench, and last night I took some of these branches and I bent them down using that method that Tom showed. We could just kind of like go like this with a few fingers, kind of like get them in between there and just give them a little bend like that. And honestly, this one was standing straight up when I did that. I mean, that was like, I think this was even the branch that I showed you in the other video where I pulled it down, let go, and it sprang right up. But if you go and basically kind of do this with them, this I did last night, and honestly, it has as much bend in it as some of these branches that I had put wire on for like over a month, like a couple of months. I think 2 months I had this wire on some of these things. And I got as much bend in one day of doing that technique than I had, with 2 months of wiring. So we're going to do this to the rest of the tree. Okay, it's quite a bit later than the last scene that I filmed. About 16 hours later. It's nighttime now, but it goes to show that, like, these branches that I bent down yesterday by hand, right here, you can see, are already, or I should say still, in a semi-weeped position. So as I said, I'm going to see if what I can get done with up here with just using that bending technique over your fingertips. And if this works rather than using wire, yeah, I mean, I'll fuss with this tree every couple of days to see if I can get it to weep without having to use wire. Some of these thicker branches that are more mature, they may have to be that way, or I may have to actually use guy wires to actually wire them down any further than what they currently are. But I'm going to give it a try. And from what I saw is you take a couple fingers and you just bend like that a little bit more aggressively and just kind of give it a little bend. And what I think of this is doing is this might be putting a little micro trauma into the cambium layer, causing it to stretch on one side, compress on the other, and therefore if we do this consistently enough, just like the effect of wiring is to get the tree to remodel its structure. And again, even on this thicker branch here, yeah, I can feel it working a little bit. And I think we overcorrect. I bet that one. I felt something go like that on that. It didn't snap the branch, but it may have caused some internal damage on that one. So there might be a literal breaking point for some of these thicker ones, where you just kind of pinch it between your fingers a little bit like that to give it a little bit of bend, like that. I think the younger branches being more flexible might take to it better. Yeah, just keep going this. Well, I'll tell you what, I'm going to switch to time lapse and work this whole tree, and then at the end we'll see what it looks like. Okay? All right, what do you guys think? That was just a few minutes of me just trying to, basically massage these branches down. Sometimes I was using 2 hands, sometimes I was just basically using 3 fingers like that to bend a branch between my thumb and my first 2 fingers, just kind of going down the whole length. And I think I got some pretty good start. This is just one time. I mean, I'd be really interested to see what happens if we do this consistently. Now, that's the hard part, is doing this consistently. I'm not promising I'm going to get to this every day. Like I said before, I might get 2 or 3 times in a day. In a week. I might actually try to see if I can make this one a little bit more prominent and use this platform that I had before to essentially prop it up a little bit so it stands out a little bit on the bench. Have it standing up a little bit more. Also, of course, obviously, if these branches continue to weave downward, they'll probably go below the level of the pot, which, of course, having it up on a stand, that will help it a little bit. So these can actually go down further than that. There's a lot of competition for space on my bench, so having this have a little bit of an elevated position might help. That's one of the things I like about this bonsai community that I've joined on YouTube. A lot of time, when a lot of people were telling me when I was talking about this, is like, you sure you want to do this? The comment sections on the internet can be brutal. But I said, no, the bonsai community is a pretty cool community. And I think this kind of shows is that Tom told me about something that he saw one of Nigel's friends show him how to do. And so a guy in Canada learned something from one of his friends, and he showed it to all of us. And Tom in Chicago remembered it and told me in North Carolina about it probably years later. But I gotta say, this is not bad. I'm actually very impressed. And no wire, cost nothing, no wire scars. Now, there were a few branches I may have been a little bit too aggressive. I think this works a lot better on the green branches. The green branches, the fresh growth, I think that's when you want to do this. Some of the thicker branches that have already had wire on them, or maybe they're a couple of years old, those felt like they gave me a little more resistance, but I think I got some downward movement on some of those too. And those had just had wire taking them off like yesterday, really, or day before yesterday, I think. Yeah, I mean, obviously you're not going to use a technique like this on this part right here. And you know, when you start getting up into the upper growth up here, you know, some of this stuff right here is probably not going to bend as well. You're probably better off with, you know, trying to, this is probably the thinnest you're going to be able to, or the thickest you're going to be able to work and really get good bend on this. But these green ones, these fresh ones that grew up since the defoliation, they really respond to it well. So this would be something that, you know, you start in the springtime when all this is all new growth, and start working on pushing those, you know, massaging those long green runners down. Yeah, you could get a pretty respectable weeping willow out of this, I think. So that's it for today. That's all we're going to do on this. And tomorrow we got a bigger project. So tomorrow we are going to probably be a big video. All right. So y'all have a good night. Stay cool and happy bonsai.